Hello everyone, this is Grade 3, Module 5, Lesson 29, Homework. The directions state, label each shaded fraction. Use greater than, less than, or equal to compare. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at the total number of pieces for each of these. And I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have twelfths. That's my unit for this first one. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded. So 5/12 of the whole is shaded. When I look at the second drawing next to it, I see that it's the same size whole, which is very important when we're comparing. So now I can count the units for this one, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I can count the shaded pieces in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I look at these two now, which one is shaded more? Or which one has more of the whole shaded? And I know that it's the 5/6. So my statement is 5/12 is less than 5/6. Notice that we're looking at a similarity here of the 5. So that's the number of pieces shaded, but the size of the piece is really going to tell us which one is greater or less. With twelfths, since I have to shade, or I have to break this into more pieces, they're going to be smaller. So twelfths are smaller pieces. When I only have to break it into sixths, those are going to be larger pieces. So I like to look at it as 5/12 is 5 smaller pieces, 5/6 are 5 larger pieces. So let's take a look at 3. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to first count my units for these, and I see that the rectangles or the shapes here, the whole amount, they're both the same size. So that's good that we're starting out with equal wholes. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So fourths. And I see that 2 of them are shaded. When I go to this other side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I have 1, 2 shaded. So again, I'm shading, or I'm coloring in 2 from each. But the size of the unit that I'm shading is the most important part. Since 4 is a smaller number than 9, it means that these fourths are going to be much larger, and I can see that with my picture. These are 2 large shaded, and these ones are 2 smaller shaded pieces. So I see that more of the whole is shaded with the 2/4. So my statement now, 2/4 is greater than 2/9. So for questions 2 and 4, that's how you're setting these up. Now when we come down to 5, we have to partition the number lines first to thirds, sixths, and ninths. I'm not going to label these number lines because it's going to get a little bit messy, but I'll start with thirds and then I'll just have sixths and ninths done. So you can take a look at the full group of 3 number lines. So I want to break the first one to thirds. So between my whole numbers, 0 and 1, I'm going to break these into thirds. And now I can go down and I can break in the next one into sixths and the last one into ninths. So there's my number lines broken into thirds, sixths, and ninths. And I tried my best to break those apart, and I see that they're a little bit off, but it shouldn't really take away from what I'm trying to look at here. Now I'm going to look at A, B, and C, and I'll probably do I'll do B for right now. And I'm going to shade on my number line. You might just want to circle, but I'll look at B first, and I see that I got to compare 2 numbers. I need to compare 5/9 and 5/6. So I'm going to look at my ninths, which is right here, and I'm going to shade out 5 of those. And you can probably just look at that. So here's ninths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5/9 right there. Now I want to go up to sixth and shade out 5/6 of these. So I'm going to go to my second number line, and I'm going to identify where 5/6 is. And I always start at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can immediately see which one is greater. And again, I'm looking at shading 5 parts from both. But because there's more pieces for 9, I have to break one hole into 9 pieces. They're going to be smaller than if I break it into 6 pieces. So 5/6 is going to be larger because they're bigger pieces. There's less of them, so they're going to be bigger. These are smaller. So my statement here for B is 5/9 is less than 5/6. So what you'll be doing for A is looking at the 6th first and looking at 2/6 and then looking at 2 of the thirds and seeing which one would shade more of the number line. And the same thing for 3/3 and 3/9. Let's take a look at page 2. On page 2, the top part is going to be drawing. So draw your own models to compare the following fractions. And I'll get started with this. I'm going to draw 2 rectangles. And what I'm going to do with this, and there's my second one, and I see that they're the same, because I want to make sure that my hole amounts are the same length. That's the most important part. Now, what I'm going to do is break these into tenths and eighths. And then my eighths. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in. And for my top one, it's tenths. I got to shade 7 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And I always start back at 0, or at the first one. And the next one I got to shade 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And even though my model was drawn a little bit off, I can see that 7/8 is larger. And again, same thing we've been talking about is I'm still shading 7 of each fraction. That's not the number that's the most important right now. It's the unit. And I know that with 8 and 10, 8 is less pieces, making those pieces bigger or larger. And the 10 pieces is going to be smaller. So 7 smaller pieces compared to 7 larger pieces means that 7/10 is less than 7/8. Let's take a look at the last one there on 8 that I'll do. And it says, for an art project, Michello used 3/4 of a glue stick. Yaman used 3/6 of an identical glue stick. Meaning, when it says identical glue stick, we're talking about the same hole. Who used more of the glue stick? Use the model below to support your answer. Be sure to label one hole as one glue stick. So, this is 1. That's going to be 0. And the same thing down below, 0 and 1. And I can see that this one is for Michello, and I'm going to label it M. And this one is for Yaman, which I'll label Y. And if you can't pronounce the names, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing them right, we can just use the first letter. So M and Y. So now I'm going to shade in because it's already broken into fourths for me. I see that I need to do 3/4. So I'll shade in 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of the 4. Now down below, I'm going to shade in 3 of the 6. 1, 2, 3. So, who used more of the glue stick? And I can look at this diagram to see which one is more shaded, or which of the hole is more shaded. So, M used more of the glue stick. And I can see that even though we shaded 3/4 and 3/6, again, it's the same top number. We shaded the same number of pieces. Fourths are larger pieces than sixths, because when I have to break a hole into 6 pieces, there's more of them, which makes them smaller. When I break it into fourths, there's less of them, so it's going to make them larger. I hope this helps. Good luck on your homework, and thanks for watching.